On today's show, LaFlame hits his #1 single. For the first time ever, we revisit a Thanksgiving tradition here on the show, and 6ix9ine will not be getting out of prison until my 25th birthday. This is As We Proceed. I'm Feliciano Segundo, joined by the Barnacle Boy to my Mermaid Man.
Yes, I'm Chris Maitland, and this podcast is arguably the best thing to ever come out of two people meeting at Sammy's Roast Beef at midnight.
In December.
Yes. Salem, Massachusetts, what's up?
Hey,
Sammy's Roast Beef.
That's crazy, dude.
Feeding drunks.
We met almost 4 years ago.
3 years ago, actually.
3 years ago.
2015.
Oh, man,
We're about like a week away.
There we go.
It's a good place. They say, Sammy's Roast Beef, you guys want to sponsor us?
Oh, that's what that'd be. Imagine if we got that.
Exactly.
That'd be dope.
It would be a fitting debut sponsor for our podcast. So let's solicit them.
Besides that one time I did a mid-roll on that VR place.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was like a 5 minutes. To be completely fair, you were just spitballing.
Yeah, had nothing prepared.
It was a 9-minute promo.
All right, so anyway, we're back. Our second to last show of the year. We have a ton of topics to get through. So let's just
yes.
Well, do you have something to say before we get started?
I do.
Always?
I've got two things to address in the last episode.
Oh boy.
It's like a we fucked up kind of situation.
Well, you know what? If it's we fucked up, I'm gonna add it to the post-production.
Oh, now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
Yep. Oh, we're gonna roll with this.
All right.
All right. So there's two things. So when we talked about this as soon as we were done recording, we failed to mention the greatest lyric that 21 Savage dropped on Not All Heroes Wear Capes.
Oh, what was it?
The all these chains, rest in peace to Harriet Tubman on 10 Freaky Girls.
Oh yes.
Which we probably could have went on for about 5 minutes on that.
Yes.
So the fact that we didn't acknowledge that, and again, it just continues the year of Harriet Tubman in hip hop.
Yes. So 2018 has been the year of Harriet Tubman. You got Nicki Minaj coming out. You got 21 Savage. Who else we got? That's about it.
That's it. But the fact that Harriet Tubman has been constantly referenced in hip hop this year is pretty tremendous.
All right. So yeah.
So there's that, and also I failed to call you because this is just the downside to recording at 3 o'clock. My brain shuts off at the late afternoon hour.
Okay.
So I failed to. You said, quote. This is a direct quote. I wouldn't re-listen to it about an hour before we recorded this. You said, "I think people are forgetting about Offset right now."
Yeah. Okay. I think I remember saying that.
Now, mind you, when you said that, ZZ, the Kodak Black song,
oh crap, I know where this is going,
was literally at #2 on the charts.
Oh,
so people are kind of forgetting. I know you don't like the Billboard charts even. How much do you want to bet now that the Feliciano Segundo has blessed you with people are forgetting about you?
Yeah.
And I think they're in a downward
spiral.
He's
just gonna go popping everywhere.
Offset's gonna have like 3 #1. His solo album, which comes out next week, is gonna have like 3 #1 singles.
Watch, I guarantee 2019 is gonna be another year of Offset.
Yeah, and also Ric Flair drip was not big at all this year.
Yeah, no,
not at all. It made no traction at all.
Oh
man,
did.
you spit the fucking absolute volcano takes, and also because you said this at our year-end show last year. You said that Drake was kind of starting to fall off of that.
He was starting to fall off. Okay, I stand by that statement because if you remember correctly, that was the first time in a long 8 years
he hadn't
had any singles on the 100. The entire Billboard Hot 100.
No, in the top 10.
No, it was the entire.
No. He had songs that charted.
No. I'm telling you right now. I checked my research. I remember it was the first time he hadn't had a single song in the 100. The entire Billboard 100 since his career started. He didn't have a top 10
single. He didn't have a top 10 single. It was the first time in a long time.
We'll go back and run the numbers, but ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our.
So basically, long story short, Offset is gonna have at least 3 #1 singles in the next year.
Yeah.
And whatever the hell the name of his album is gonna be.
Oh, you don't know his album? Look, who's fucking up now?
Me.
All right then. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our first story. Travis Scott has his first #1 single.
Yeah, exactly. More Billboard chart talk. Here we go.
More Drake. Oh God, this is not making my case any better. But Sicko Mode has given Travis Scott his first #1 hits. I'll let you take it away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, are you surprised it took this long?
I am very surprised.
Are you surprised that it took this song this long to hit #1? Because it's been flirting with #1 for quite some time.
It's a little weird to me, I will say, because I feel like he's had obviously, like you said, I don't really pay attention to Billboard that often, but it's weird that Billboard was just like for some reason didn't have this good relationship with Travis Scott, where for some reason he wasn't getting that #1 spot.
Well, it's not a matter of a good relationship.
No, what I'm saying
it's a
is,
matter.
like,
I mean, the song has obviously been streamed a bajillion times. It's on the radio all the time. So
I'm referring to his like fortune. Like the fortune, he's had really bad fortune as far as like getting in that top 5.
No,
it feels like he for some reason every time Travis Scott has like that good single floating around, there's just like another pop singer who just comes around and just kind of beats him to it. And in this case, it's the reverse. He's beating Nicki Minaj to getting the #1 single because.
Well, he took out Ariana Grande.
He took out Ariana.
He took out the sensation "Thank You Next," which will be #1 again next week.
I mean,
for sure.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm not mad at it.
No, me neither. But I'm kind of surprised the week that her video was released. That
Sicko was. It is
weird. It is very weird
because that video was what. Almost 50 million views right now? I don't know.
Dude, I watched it for the first time yesterday and it had 90 million.
Yeah, so over the weekend it blew up. But anyway, this story
it's pretty wild. No, it's pretty wild that he was able to do that in a week where Ariana's single was even more in the forefront of the news cycle.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, I think that if anything, this stands a testament to what I've told people in the past, which is that if you put Drake on a single, that thing's just gonna fly, and people have gotten upset at me because I've pretty much said that Drake is the hit-making machine that he is. He helps artists get their first #1 single. If you remember back in 2012, I believe it was, "Fucking Problems" with A$AP Rocky. If you ask me, I feel like Drake had a hand in making that a #1 single.
I mean, it's a strong argument. I really can't go against it.
You know what I mean?
I can't go against it because if you look at A$AP did not have a song that even charted in the top 10 yet. At
Peso
that point
was good, but it wasn't #1.
No, but A$AP hasn't had a hit since then.
Exactly.
To that magnitude. And
right.
Travis, which is wild, because I looked this up. So Travis hadn't even had a top 10 single before Sicko Mode.
Really? Not even Goosebumps?
No, Goosebumps didn't even make the top 20.
What?
His highest charting single prior to this was Antidote, which topped at 16.
Wow, that is insane for me.
So he hadn't even had a top 5, which is especially wild considering that, I mean, hip-hop and trap in particular have spawned so many fucking hits. Like, Kodak Black has 2 top 10 singles to his name.
Wow.
Lil Baby has 2 top 10 singles to his name.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have Lil Pump. Does Lil Pump have a #1
Lil Pump
single?
has 1 with Gucci Gang. Gucci Gang was top 5, it didn't hit #1.
Dude, that's insane.
So yeah, so Travis, it took Travis. So yes, Lil Pump, Lil Baby, and Kodak Black all had top 10.
And you know what's even crazier? This is his
Travis
third
Scott.
album.
It's his third full length. Yeah.
It took him 3 albums to get a #1 single, which is crazy.
Well, no, it's honestly wild. I mean, Travis has made a huge ascent in the last 18 months for some. I mean, I think it's a combination. I mean, obviously he's gotten help from high-profile artists, collaborating with them and whatnot.
Right.
But also his stock as a solo artist also has just gone up for whatever reason. I mean, I know some people attribute it to Kylie Jenner. Some people attribute it to just change in trends and whatnot.
I think honestly, I think it's his.
I think it's his artistry.
His
personally,
artistry. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's
his persona. His character, I think, is very appealing, alluring to our generation of hip hop, of music in general. A lot of people don't really like this whole gangster flashing types thing where you come around and you're riding around in like a Bentley, you got like the Rolex on. Like, we're not really in that generation anymore. It's not about like the Nellies, the Ja Rules, the Jay-Z's. It's more about just like, I don't even know, just the...
Well, I think we're kind of somewhere in between. I mean, trap has a lot of that violent imagery.
It has the braggadocious stuff, but that's not everything.
But it's more focused on having fun than anything.
Exactly. Right. It's less showy and ostentatious for the sake of trying to like show off everything that you have so that you can keep up a persona, and more just being weird and artistic and fun.
Yeah, no, and I think with Travis, I think particularly since a lot of other artists that he's had an influence on.
Right.
And also with Kid Cudi. I mean, obviously Kid Cudi coming back, I guess could have also had
Through
a comeback.
the Late Night. I'm surprised Through the Late Night didn't get him a #1 because that was a huge song.
No, dude. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, Travis seems like he's had a lot of like cult hits, if you will.
Okay.
Songs that have had decent pull on like the
Through
internet.
the Late Night was his Clerks. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. And like songs like Sweet Sweet, I got a little bit of a pop.
Weird?
Like 3500 and 90210, same thing. Like those songs.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to keep rolling on the Kevin Smith train, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I feel like he is like the Kevin Smith of hip hop.
I guess so, but Kevin Smith never really had like a breakout hit as a director.
Yeah, you're right. Well,
he has if you look at the box office, like he's never had he's never had like a huge success.
Well, and it refers to how he carries himself. You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
Travis Scott very much feels like an artist that like companies would want to manufacture, but for some reason they're upset because he's a self-made artist and he did it by himself. If that makes any sense.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I think
have a lot of artists come around in the hip hop genre where it's almost like the industry's pushing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were just talking about one example, Lil Pump. It feels like Lil Pump is very much like everyone wants him to be into the zeitgeist. You know, even though a lot of the fans probably might not support him. Travis Scott, if anything, I think the fans made him. He made himself.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, like if you look at it, like before this tour he's currently on, which is doing arenas, like he was only playing like House of Blues type venues.
Oh,
I mean, like
okay.
a little bit bigger. Like he had like this like overnight, like this complete superstardom. It truly does feel like it feels like old fashioned in a way.
Yeah.
Because it built up very slowly. It wasn't like he became this overnight sensation. Like this has been a long time fucking coming, and I think it could be just like the shift towards more like psychedelic type music, like mellow rap. I guess could have signaled his stardom. But it's honestly fascinating, like how this has come about, and I'm glad that it's finally here. I mean, Sicko, do I think it's one of his stronger songs? No, but I'm glad that he finally has this milestone under his belt. Particularly, I mean, people obviously. I mean, where actually, because Astroworld also went #1 on the charts again this week.
Oh, really?
But also, there might be some more. We might have to have Nikki, the Billboard chart whistleblower, might have to dust off her whistle.
Why?
Because Travis, I found this out when I was doing some research for the next story we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Astroworld, there was another merch sale last
Oh,
week that
really?
included. I'm not kidding. And Astroworld literally, it had never left the top 10 since it was released. But it went up from like I don't know where it was before, but it took back the #1 spot because of the merch sale.
Oh.
And some people are also questioning, even though I think it's a bullshit. Some people are questioning because of the release of the remix that Skrillex did. That's why Sicko became #1.
Oh, okay.
But they're not the same song.
No,
like
they're
it's
not.
the original that took #1. It's not
Right.
it's not like the Sicko remix came out of nowhere.
No, it's not like where you see a lot of artists where like as soon as they're collaborating with a pop artist that it automatically hits #1. This isn't.
No,
one of
this
those
isn't that
cases.
case. I mean,
Yeah.
particularly, I don't think Skrillex doesn't have the same pop that he used to.
No.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, the dubstep. I mean, me and the.
It's kind of died down. I feel like that wave's
It
not
feels
really,
like it. I mean,
it's more
I
of
could
a
be right
puddle at
because
this
it's not
point.
like Skrillex hasn't really had like crossed over to like Diplo.
No,
like
no,
Diplo,
no.
Diplo kind of went a different direction and made more.
EDM is very much
EDM's still very popular, but like
not
specifically dubstep, because like
No.
Skrillex didn't have any versatility. Skrillex was just straight up dubstep, like shake your fucking speakers till your fucking face is bleeding. But because like Diplo went over into more like pop, electro pop and that type of shit, and he's still as relevant as ever. But like Skrillex feels like he absolutely fell off, but apparently not that much because he's collaborating. He's doing remixes of the #1 song in the country.
Exactly. So yeah, congratulations to Travis Scott and Mr. Aubrey Graham.
Well, okay, can I have one more note on the topic of Travis Scott? Just one thing.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Have you seen the Yosemite video?
No, I know it just dropped though.
It just dropped. So apparently,
wait, are you going to spoil it for me? Because I don't want to.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now. It's a heartwarming journey about a little boy going to discover where Nav recorded his verse.
Nice.
It's a cave.
Okay.
Or Gillette Stadium. One of the two. Take your pick.
Okay, cool. Well, that's going to be exciting to see. I'm sure
It's very heartwarming. Let me tell you.
Okay. I'm sure I'll be excited to watch that later on. But we move on to our next story, which I guess for some reason ties into this somehow. I'm curious to see how you tie that into. But it's all about Mr. 6IX9INE himself. 6IX9INE was pretty much denied bail completely.
Well, he wasn't pretty much denied bail. He was denied bail.
He was denied bail.
Well,
absolutely.
6IX9INE has had his share of legal troubles. You go break it down because obviously,
where do I begin with this, young man?
It's truly. I mean, there are no shortage of rappers that have had their legal troubles over the years. This is quite possibly the most insane
in like 10 years, probably.
In terms of the volume of charges and what he was accused of, he's just fucking bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to let me pull out my phone because honestly, I can't even name off the top of my head.
No, they literally like reading some of like the lawyer statements. It was like there was one where they said like literally like a litany of cases in terms of like his racketeering. There was so much in terms of racketeering that he was accused of. They literally just had to just say litany. They couldn't even say including because he had so much fucking insane.
They were like, yo,
I don't know why, because this shit is not that. This shit is not funny. It's horrifying.
It's awful, but it's just funny that like they had to go into their Rolodex words and pull out that.
The fact that they use litany and literally couldn't even begin to describe what he did
All right.
is pretty fucking
So
nuts.
according to Genius, formerly known as Rap Genius, 6IX9INE was charged with racketeering He also had
he had conspiracy to murder.
He pled guilty.
He had accessory to a robbery, I think.
Right. There were 3 felony accounts of use of a child in a sexual performance, which is
also, that was something he previously. He violated his probation with all these charges.
Right. But that was the one where I believe everybody was like, we don't want anything to do with him. Screw this guy. Everyone
because he admitted to being a fucking sex offender for fuck's sake. I mean,
right. And I mean that's not that great.
That's a hell of an understatement.
I don't know what to say about that.
No. There's really no good way to discuss it. I mean, the guy's a fucking registered sex offender.
Right. So he had sexual misconduct in 2015. What else do we have here? March 5th, he was arrested and charged with the use of a child in a sexual performance. October of that same year, he pleads guilty, which was pretty.
This is before he became like a huge artist.
Right. He pled guilty to a felony account of use of a child in a sexual performance. His plea deal said that until sentencing, he was to complete 1 year of probation, 300 hours of community service, and 2 years of mental health treatment, and not to share explicit images of young women or children to social media. Obviously, we all know how this story goes from here. He broke that.
He violated his probation. I mean,
which brings us to 2017, where a bunch of stuff happened. Gummo was released for some reason. I don't know why that's in this timeline by Vulture.
That's incredibly odd.
Yeah,
because I don't know when. Because Gummo was obviously his breakout single as an artist, and I think it might have been like around the time Gummo was released that his his sexual misconduct with a minor charge became public,
right?
Because it was hidden for a little bit. People weren't aware of it, and then it was actually allegedly it was made public by one of the members of City Morgue. Zilla Cami, because he used to ghostwrite for him.
We got some snitches over there.
He used to go over for him, and he didn't know about it. Then apparently he found out about it and was disgusted by it, broke up his partnership with 6IX9INE, and then leaked it to the public.
Of course. All right, so he was involved in an attack earlier, and I think it was in July. He was pistol whipped and
he was kidnapped.
He was kidnapped by a bunch of people in Brooklyn. And then he posted a picture on Instagram where he essentially, I think he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
I thought that was it for him. I thought he was going to die in the hospital, which that would have been awful. But no, he made it out, which is crazy for me personally. And then in August of this year, actually, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office requested that a judge revoke his plea deal, arguing that he violated the terms of the deal by getting caught in more trouble, and he didn't get his GED in time, which I believe was a part of the deal.
That was a condition of his deal, yes.
It was a condition. And then that's when he had to be required to register as a sex offender, which leads us all the way, we can fast forward to pretty much November. Which,
he had a really bad. I mean, he got because the racketeering charges are allegedly from his gang affiliations. He's allegedly in a particularly violent sector of the blood's known as Treyway. Mm-hmm. And then he was allegedly watched his posse members kidnap someone. He videotaped it apparently. He did that.
Goodness.
And there was all sorts of other fun stuff, and that's where the racketeering comes from. There's what the hell else did he do? He apparently beat up his girlfriend.
Okay.
So that's good.
Here's the thing. You can't really. Okay, I'm not going to say that you can't blame everything on him, because obviously he's an individual, right? He's able to make decisions on his own. He's what is he, like 19, 20 years old?
He's like 23.
23 years old? Okay, so he's even older than I thought. So he's definitely capable of making his own decisions. The thing with me is that, like, you need, and he said this happened later on, but like if you're in a situation like that where you're a high-profile celebrity, a high-profile rap artist, you need to make sure that your team has your back. And it looks like the team that he had.
Okay,
what?
Oh, no, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, it looks like the team that he was running with did not have his back for the majority of all of this. You know, like, you need to make sure that, like, the people that you're running with know that what's best for you and aren't influencing you to mess around with all these different people. Because at this point in your career, do you really need to be running around with gang members? You know what I mean?
No, that's entirely on him. No, that's not his team. No, it's not.
I'm not saying. I mean, obviously, part of it is his fault, but like,
it's all of his fault. It's who you choose to associate with, and clearly he fucking.
He clearly runs around with a bunch of yes men who are telling him, yeah, do whatever you want. This is the equivalent of a little kid who has all his friends tell him, yeah, go burn that down, go light that on fire. You know what I mean? If your mom and dad aren't around you all the time, you're gonna go burn some shit up. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, no, you're not wrong. But however, I think you're letting him off the hook. I mean, this is entirely his fault. I mean,
I'm saying, I'm not saying it's not his fault. I'm saying he shares the blame with his team.
You can't blame, but this is like his team. His team's joining him. Like they're doing all this shit together. I mean, like he's getting accused, and he, as a PR move to try to get himself off the hook, he threw them under the bus and said he fired them once he found out about their activities.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's a bullshit move from a guy that's fucking guilty. I mean,
I understand that. I know. Okay.
And you can't attribute this to anything with it in terms of how he came up, all this shit. This is a guy that clearly just revels in the fucking lifestyle.
No, I know
the
that.
gangster lifestyle.
What I'm saying is that his team is just as much to blame as he is. That's all I'm trying to say.
But he hired allegedly he apparently met these guys through like at his show. At a show a couple years back.
That doesn't let them off.
No, it doesn't. He brought them in.
Yeah.
He brought them in as his security team and his manager.
Yeah, I understand.
So
that.
clearly he ran with these guys.
Right, but I mean,
so
that
I don't
doesn't
think
necessarily...
they like dragged him through the life. I mean, he has an extensive history of arrests. I mean, he was allegedly arrested for selling heroin as a teenager.
Right,
so
but
this is a lifestyle that he
chose to. I understand. He's not from his background.
But he could have. But there's the thing, and there are so many stories of guys that came from shit, like they put their life past, like they put that life behind them once they broke out in the industry. 6ix9ine clearly, it's not like he couldn't escape it. He reveled in it.
Exactly.
He fucking reveled in it.
Right.
So like, I have no sympathy for this fucking kid.
Absolutely
zero.
I'm not saying I have sympathy for him. What I'm saying is, if you're a manager, right, you're hired to manage this young up-and-coming rap artist. You have a bunch of stuff to invest in this kid. Meaning, if he fucks up, your money is also fucked up. As a manager, wouldn't you want to protect your investment?
He hired a gang member. That's the thing. Yeah, if he hired a normal guy, like someone who had experience in the industry, someone, if he hired a real fucking manager, a man or woman who knew what the fuck they were doing in music, that would be one thing. He hired a fucking gang member.
So his gang member wasn't an actual manager?
No, it was just some guy.
Okay,
I understand. It was some guy from one of his fucking boys from he ran with.
Okay,
it wasn't like
now.
he hired fucking Scooter Braun or somebody.
No. That's what I was thinking.
No.
I was like, see, I'm thinking like his team is like actually like you have a manager, you have people that are your agent and shit like that.
All right, first off.
Okay.
No, he literally hired this
just goes to show how much I know nothing about this kid because personally I don't follow his trajectory at all.
No, neither do I. I'm not a fan of his music.
So how'd you know this?
I fucking read up on it.
Okay, see, personally,
I came fucking prepared.
I did too.
Relatively,
I thought he did.
I lost track of because there was so many fucking charges. I'm forgetting. We definitely haven't referenced some of the fucking charges he had.
I don't think we really need to. I think the people at home pretty much have.
It's pretty evident. Oh yeah, no, we did forget that there was the music video shoot he did with Kanye and Nicki Minaj that got shot up because he had like Crips were after him.
Yeah,
in LA. Yeah, no, that's the thing. Is this guy? I mean, clearly, dude, he had like this was a fucking RICO case. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, you're right.
Like this is nutso. Like he has a very, very good chance of legitimately going away for life.
Yeah, I understand.
Like the charges, if they're all, and they denied his plea deal was to pay basically he had to he had to surrender his passport. Pay a little under $2 million for bail and be placed under house arrest. That was the terms. Like, okay, this is what I'll do. Mm-hmm. But then the judge is like, no, dude, like you can still do all the shit you were doing from your house.
Exactly.
So like you can't you're going to be in here until your trial next year.
Right.
And the nutso thing about all of this, and this just goes to show, and I can't to condemn this would be hypocritical of me because of based on what I've said about artists, about separating the art from the artist. I mean, it's something that I strongly believe in. Mm-hmm. But 6ix9ine, so his new album came out, Dumbo Boy, yeah, which apparently is just like he's just apparently admitting he's a fucking moron. This is a very poetic way of putting it. But his album came out. So his label tabled the album once he got arrested.
Right.
But then apparently the remaining member, whatever associates are not currently in prison, put the album on his website, and then eventually the label was like, all right, well, fuck this, we might as well make some money from it, we'll put it on there.
Yeah.
It got put out on a Tuesday. So the chart week was last Tuesday, actually, a week from today. 1 week ago. So the Billboard charts go from Friday to Friday. Mm-hmm. So this is wild. So basically, his record from Tuesday to Friday had 66,000 units. Mm-hmm. And Travis had Astro One had 77,000. So basically, if Dumbo Boy had come out on Friday, it would have been the #1 album of the country. So that just goes to show you, just the whole morality thing that people preach is a load of garbage. Because
who's preaching morality?
No, but I'm saying like people like who are always like we need to condemn this artist because they did this awful thing and like we're gonna sink them. Like nobody supports them.
Right.
Well, this is then why if that way if everyone felt that way if the majority felt that way then how the hell did this kid almost have the number one album in the country?
Well, who's saying that everyone feels that way?
Not me.
Okay.
But I'm saying this is every time a celebrity gets like exposed to something awful they did. Whatever it is.
Right.
Whatever criminal activity they did. Mm-hmm. People were like, oh no, like we can't, like we like no, like no, we can't. No one supports this. Like
I've never heard that argument personally.
Well,
I've heard people.
I think it's incredibly disingenuous. That's the
Okay.
thing because I just have a hard time believing that you like this person.
Oh, is
Like,
that like
you
how
like their
people were trying
music.
to? Is that like how people were trying to boycott Kanye because of the MAGA stuff?
Exactly.
Oh,
well,
okay.
that's to a way lesser extent because Kanye didn't do anything criminal.
Right.
No, I'm talking like people that were accused of doing awful things.
Like the R. Kelly thing is like nobody buys his
Exactly.
album, let's
Correct.
boycott him. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're
But
right.
you
That
think-
is complete bullshit. It makes no sense because people were there were
Well,
still.
I just think
he
it's,
already
I just
has
think,
a fan base that's going to buy his shit.
No, exactly.
Right.
And that's one thing. Like, I'm not saying like you don't have the right to not support this person. Yeah, absolutely, go for it. Man. That's your fucking prerogative.
Right.
But I'm just saying I think that shit's overblown because clearly there are millions of people out there that are well aware of what 6ix9ine did, or well aware of what he's accused of, and just keep listening to him.
Exactly. So moving forward, I want to ask the question: what's next for this kid? Because we have
Prison.
Well, as far as we know, there are there's only three outcomes that this can go. He can either go to jail for life.
Yep.
He could probably get if God is merciful, as we believe He is. Hopefully, he gets out.
He's being
and I've
real.
actually heard people say that like they think he's legitimately going to get out. Like he's going to get out of prison, he's going to be free.
I don't think so, man.
Or, and this is the worst case scenario, kicks the bucket.
Well, realistically, dude, he could get murdered in prison because
Yeah.
they had to put him in solitary because the Crips in prison were after him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Again, which
actually
goes
did read up on
to
that.
show you the magnitude of his gang ties.
Exactly.
They don't do that. Like
Such
if
a
he was
young
a
kid.
fake, if he was like a fake blood or fake Crip or whatever, because some people have accused him of in the past of like not being like hard enough or not. That's another weird thing about hip hop, man. It's like, well, man, like the gang activity isn't cool.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
It's not
I legitimately believe that he is in the gang. I just don't really buy the idea that like he is this like crazy out there kid, and that like I feel like a lot of it is just to put out into the ether in order to like try and keep up this image, keep up this perception that he is like this wild card of a kid. Like I mean, you even said it earlier. You said that like a lot, like the whole thing with like firing his team and stuff, that was all like a publicity stunt. So I think he pulls a lot of this stuff a lot of the time. I just don't necessarily believe all of this like rebel stuff that he's doing.
I don't fucking know. I mean, and we'll never have any way of knowing.
Exactly.
But when you have all this, when you have this deep of a laundry list of shit, I mean, it looks. I mean, all signs point to him being heavily involved with the shit. And if even a third of that shit's true, I don't see any way because it's not like he's invincible.
No,
it's not invincible. And like, it's one thing. Like the cases where you have celebrities like getting off with things is not when they're accused of doing like 50 fucking things.
Exactly.
I mean, this is an insane. It was wild. So this is back on the music standpoint. So somebody like reviewing his new album, one of the major publications said like basically like made some reference to how like he'll like if he says he's like facing a life sentence, like he'll have like a long time to reflect on. I was like, dude, if he goes to, he's not gonna make an album in prison.
Exactly.
Like if 6ix9ine truly like goes away for life, like we'll never hear another 6ix9ine song again.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
I should clarify that. We'll never hear another 6ix9ine's. He won't release another album that's not like of shit that's lying around on a flash drive right now.
Right. Okay.
So we're not gonna get 10 more 6ix9ine albums.
Exactly. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen from here? Personally, if you had asked me what my prediction would be, I'd say he probably goes to jail for about 5 years, gets out.
Man, I don't do like the minimum. He's facing a mandatory minimum sentence of 30 plus years. So like no, like this isn't like your normal case. Like this isn't like.
Yeah, but you got to remember, money can make a lot of things disappear. A lot of those charges probably go away.
But like, look at Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
He was literally Gucci Mane he beat the shit out of a dude in a nightclub parking lot like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Felony assault went away for a couple of years, and every other time was possessing a firearm as a convicted felon.
You also have to remember that the criminal justice system tends to rain down harshly on people of darker complexions.
What's
so that probably
6ix9ine's not white.
He's not black either.
No, you're right. But but all of a sudden they're gonna give him a pass because he's Puerto Rican.
No, but
that doesn't make any sense.
What are you talking about? So clearly,
because he's of a lighter complexion, he's gonna magically. No,
I personally believe that.
agree.
Okay, obviously you can pretty much say that the criminal justice system does play favorites.
Well, no, that's
case.
evident. But I just don't think 6ix9ine falls into that category.
If I'm a judge who doesn't know anything about 6ix9ine. And doesn't know anything about hip hop music or anything, and I get this kid in front of me with this rainbow colored hair. I see that he's got these weird teeth thing going on, and he's light skinned. I'm just gonna think he's just some punk kid on the street. I'm not gonna know anything about his past. So maybe I'll give him like 5 years.
I don't know. I see. I think that
maybe
argument,
give him like 10 years of probation.
I think that argument goes out the window when you look at how many fucking charges he has and the severity of them.
We'll see.
That'd be one thing. If it was just like one thing, if it was like a firearm case or something, or it was like something like.
I'm not a judge, so I can't say.
Something. Like a way less charges than this. If it was just a single charge for something that was less severe, sure. Right. But I don't think any of those exemptions are going to come to play. And I'm not going to pretend. Obviously, I think you'd have to have your head fully inserted up your ass to realize that the criminal justice system's fucking rigged towards people of fucking color. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stacked against
That's all
them.
I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
What I am disagreeing with is that 6ix9ine is somehow going to benefit from that.
I
just don't see it happening.
We'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to stay tuned to next September. Is that when his trial is?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's right. Nice little criminal justice debate here.
All right.
Kodak Black's probably sitting somewhere. Like, finally, the heat's off me, guys.
Exactly. We have our last story, which is a good old Thanksgiving tradition, post-Thanksgiving tradition.
Our annual celebrate the 7th anniversary of an album.
Exactly. Last year we did it with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and today we're doing it with the one and only.
And next year we're going to do it with Global Warming by Pitbull.
I mean, I was thinking we can do it with Good Kid, Mad City, but that's okay too.
Well, that came out in October, it didn't come out in November, so not eligible. It has to be a November release. We have to talk about Feel This Moment with the Take On Me sample for 25 minutes. I couldn't name another song from that album, but I literally looked it up so I could make that joke.
Cool.
No, I was looking for the most ridiculous album I could find out that was released in November 2012, and there it is, Global, and I'm sure that shit killed. I'm sure every person that's listening to that's like, oh, that Chris, he's a fucking laugh a minute. Look at that Pitbull reference.
Goodness.
He's a hoot.
Yeah, congratulations to the one person that got that. But yeah. So Take Care was the second album by Aubrey Graham.
Where's the wrap it up
Came out in 2011. It's probably one of his. Would you say it's his biggest album?
Yeah,
I can say it's his biggest album. Definitely the one that marked that the Drake era was here to stay. I believe. Yeah. Before that, it's Thank Me Later was like
you'd label it his breakout album.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can make the argument for Thank Me Later, but I think Take Care.
Well, Thank Me Later was his debut. I mean, it
was also his mainstream breakthrough.
You're right. Because So Far Gone came out before that, but Take Care is when he really ascended to another level.
Right. This took him to the next level. I mean, what else is there really to say? This is the album that spawned a million parodies and pretty much made Drake a force in the pop culture lexicon
and a meme.
It's
basically everything that you either love or hate about Drake. How you feel about Drake?
It probably comes from this album.
Yeah, it spawned from this album.
Exactly. So, I mean, do you have any sort of any personal feelings for this album at all? Any sort of bond?
No. Yeah. I'm actually gonna flip the script here because just for a little perspective. So I'm curious, as someone who was a Drake fan from close to the beginning.
Yeah.
When you heard this album for the first time, did you realize that it was going to be this cultural landmark album?
Here's the thing. I knew it was going to be big, but I never would have thought in a million years that this would be one of the biggest albums of the decade. Because for me, I always felt like Drake was this guy of I'm in this rap game because Lil Wayne put me on. So therefore, I am the sidekick. I am the Robin to his Batman.
Yeah.
And for a while, it did feel like that. It felt like everywhere Lil Wayne was, Drake was right behind him.
That's what I felt Thank Me Later was the protege of Lil Wayne put an album out.
Right.
See, Take Care is when I felt like he separated himself from Lil Wayne.
I never would have guessed that he'd be able to hold an entire project down without Lil Wayne's help. It's almost like when you watch a famous TV show get a spinoff and they give a side character.
No, that is a beautiful way of putting it.
Right. So they give let's say if they gave, I don't know, let's give me any side character from. Okay, if And I'll use this in terms that in an analogy that you can understand. What's the blonde girl from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? What's her name?
The actress D. Yes,
yeah.
D.
If D got her own show,
she did.
Right? She got her own TV show.
Not off of the D character, but she had her own sitcom called The Mick that was canceled after 2 seasons.
Okay, that's a perfect example. The Mick, right? I thought he was going to be Rab's version of the Mick because I would have never thought that he would be able to like have this much character and personality, this witty with all these different punchlines and ways of rapping. His flows, I think, were incredible on this project. And also on top of that, not only was he able to separate himself from Lil Wayne, but also pull up these other lesser-known artists and give them a platform.
Yeah, no.
Because this is the album that, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but this is the album that pretty much helped spawn pop culture's familiarity with The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, I think, to a lesser extent, because he's only on the album for.
He gave him his own song.
I know that. No, I know that. But I think if you were to like look back on it, like I think
a bunch of people were put on by
No, you're right.
Alive.
But I think more people will look this as the launching pad for The Weeknd because he had more of an influence on the album, and he was on multiple songs. He wrote about 5 of them.
Little known fact: the Buried Alive interlude was the first time I ever heard Kendrick Lamar's voice ever.
Yeah,
I had no idea who this was. At first, when I first heard that song, I thought it was Drake doing a Lil Wayne impression. I swear to God.
Really? Because I hadn't heard Buried Alive in years until today again, and it's just kind of there. Like I'm honestly confused how you reached that conclusion. I would have never.
I was like, why is Drake sounding like this? This is so
weird. At the beginning, I was like, is this the birth of like annoying voice Kendrick Lamar? Like
exactly.
one of the many annoying voices of Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a rundown of.
All right. So I'll give you before we go any further, I'll give you my experience of the album. So obviously, as I've stated a million times, I fucking hated Drake when this album came out. I wanted nothing to do with him. I mean, I can tell you when it came out, I was 19. It was my second year of college. I just started my second year of college. And I was just sick of people quoting this, like posting lyrics from the album, talking about the album.
Yep.
I was just like, that's fucking Aubrey Graham.
You win this round.
You jackass, go away. I mean, basically, like I can tell you, like particularly, like any girl that I was into at the time, I was like, I think I became like unattracted from girls at the time.
Wait, what?
Because they like Drake so much.
Wait, what?
19-year-old Chris was very bitter. If you think I'm an asshole now, 19-year-old me was fucking.
Did you just say that Drake made you gay for a second?
No, it just made no. That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
No, I'm saying that like I lost interest in girls because they like Drake.
That's what it sounds like.
As in like individual girls, not like I flipped my sexuality. Sorry,
that was no. I mean, I'm not judging you.
Well, thank you for not wanting to condemn me. No, but I'm saying
like there were girls.
There were girls that I was like, oh, she seems cool, and then like I heard her like reference Drake, and I was like, oh, well, never mind.
F this, yeah.
Yeah. So 19-year-old me, believe it or not, bigger jackass than I am at 26. But all right, so blah blah blah. Unfortunately, you don't have a time machine yet. So you can find if we get access to that technology, you can take a time machine back to 2011 and see.
So despite all that,
all right. So fast forward through all that. So when I finally came around on Drake, and I heard this album about 3 years ago for the first time.
Oh, really?
Yes. And at the first like go around, I thought it was because like I had been hearing like this was Drake's best album, and like I mean nothing was the same, has a relatively close level of acclaim, but like this is considered to be his best album. So when I first started, I was like, this is a little bit overhyped. I'm like, it's just like I don't know what the big deal is. Like I was like, this is too slow, like it's too melancholy, blah blah blah. Like I'm like, what's the big deal about this record outside of a handful of songs? And then after a few more spins, I was like, all right, I really start to get this. I mean, I think it planted the seeds for Drake as one of like I think this is when he became when he finally figured out how to balance the R&B and the pop. I mean, this record has much more of an R&B influence than Thank Me Later did. Yeah. And I think that's where he really shines. As I've said a million times, I think his singing is definitely better. But I think this also gave wave to, I think this made pop rap cool again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think it made people want to hop on more atmospheric beats because I mean, 40 did a lot of this, and he obviously lets a lot of the shit breathe. There's a lot of really, really interesting, long-winded, like very mellow instrumental. So I think that he made that a trend.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this record is also special because it gave birth to the Drake and Rihanna relationship.
Absolutely, you have that. And
I mean, the greatest male-female collaboration duo I think of this decade. No, not like I think they have the most like palpable chemistry.
It's insane.
No, it's truly just
because
wild.
you would think that Nicki Minaj and Drake would have a better like chemistry. But
no, their chemistry was good, but like
they have good chemistry.
No,
right?
but Drake and Rihanna was just it was
they were
sparks.
Exactly.
Fucking sparks.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and this record is just like from start to finish, like it's like I think it's just the birth of Drake, and I think it's just about as good as he's been.
I agree, definitely, and I think also it also plays into this long-running gag of a side gag of Drake's career where he just invents all these original terms.
Well, there's that, and there's also it gave birth to like Sensitive Man. I think honestly, I think now even like did you think that Drake this album is basically like the more like basically his sensitivity on this album? Do you think that this had an influence on like the current shit where like emo rap? And I'm saying like with like the current wave of like emo, where because like rappers now for as still as horrible as the lyrics are in terms of their content,
right?
People are more inclined to share their feelings now.
I feel like Future has this album to thank personally. If you were to ask me.
Oh, for sure, because Future's music, as I've argued many times, is sneaky emotional.
Right, and so. As far as like aphorisms, I think. Well, sorry, I should probably answer your question. Yeah, no, I think there are 3 albums. Before I move on to my next point, there are 3 albums that I think have contributed to this whole like melodramatic, very like somber sounding.
Yes, or as people like to mock it, like the sad boy rap.
Sad boy rap, whatever you want to call it. I think it's 808s and Heartbreak.
Yes, for sure.
Man on the Moon and Take Care.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
So yeah, absolutely. I think he's definitely contributed. I mean, look at the freaking album cover. I mean, this is like a guy.
I mean, look like that man. That man is just wallowing in sorrow.
Right, exactly. His
so much pain.
Like, his
Rihanna hadn't even rejected him at this point.
Yeah,
and he's already sad. He saw the future. Actually, he saw that award show. He said he's like, in 2017. Like, damn it.
Yeah, he's like,
damn it, Robin.
Yeah, he's not thinking about you only live once. It's more like you only die once.
Yeah. Exactly, and you only cry a million times.
But no, like but moving on to my next point was like you have all these different phrases that Drake has coined in the past 10 years. You know, you have 0 to 100 real quick, back to back, run through the 6 of my woes. Yep. Nobody knew what any of those things were, and then this all started with YOLO, which became like a pop culture.
Oh yes, the motto.
The motto, which in my opinion is one of my fucking. Oh, I hate that song so much. It's one of my least favorite Drake songs.
As do I. Good Lord. Oh, no, it is just peak obnoxious Drake.
But moving on to another song, another, phrase that he did invent, which is hypher. Hell yeah, fucking right.
Hell yeah, fucking right.
That's a song that I can get behind, personally.
Hell yeah, fucking right is a good song.
I love that song, and I also love the video, because...
I have not seen the video.
It's the best bar mitzvah you've ever seen in your life.
I went to some pretty lit ones.
No, you don't know about this one, man. This one's got a rabbi being hung by a stripper by his necktie.
Okay, I lied.
I
lied. I never saw that at one of the many bar mitzvahs I went to.
I think Lil Wayne rocks a yarmulke in the music video. I don't know. It's been a while.
Well, I saw Birdman rock a yarmulke at one bar mitzvah I went to, but unfortunately not Lil Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wait, was it Harvey Birdman?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Attorney at law.
Dope.
Yes. He was.
Yeah, what else I don't really want to go through a track by track.
No. Because I mean, obviously, it would be kind of ridiculous to go through a track by track of an album that we've heard that came out 7 years ago, and most people have probably heard.
Exactly.
So I was going to ask you. So what are your favorite tracks on this album?
All right. So as far as favorite tracks go, the thing that I love about this album is that the last 5 to 10 seconds of a lot of these songs really make the song for me. Like just the outros, the very end. So like. You have a Crew Love. It's like that like very like I don't know what it is, but like they kind of like tweak the tempo a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Which for some reason I'm just like I wish this was the entire beat for me.
Yeah, I have to disagree with that, man.
Oh,
just because that fucking Il Angelo did that, who's obviously the Weeknd's main producer.
Yeah.
And that was just the ultimate precursor to House of Balloons, and just like this fucking like grimy synthesizer just comes and like fucking just. It makes you feel like you're on drugs.
I love it.
It's just like it's amazing. It's just
incredible. That aesthetic of like
beautiful.
The drum sounds, and then you also have it on the what was this first? Oh, Headlines, which is the lead single to this album, right? Yeah. That one at the end, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's like this. It's very like subterranean level, like boom 808 drum machine at the end, where it's like it almost feels like it's underwater. That was great.
Yeah,
A lot of these songs have that. And then you also, as far as favorite songs are concerned, we have Take Care, like we mentioned before, with Rihanna. I think that's my favorite collab with Rihanna and Drake. Personally, I think it's better than What's My Name. I think it's better than Too Good.
Oh, God.
Better Than Too Good.
Take Care is fucking immense.
Exactly.
Just the fucking production, the fucking, like, the whole, like, the sampling in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then you have the breakdown, the bridge.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That club, that New York club feel at the end. And then you also have Underground Kings, which has, not Underground Kings, Lord Knows, where he drops that line about, like, how people from the past, they compare us from the people of the past, but I don't know if, like, Biggie and Tupac, he essentially says that, like, people like Biggie and Tupac would not survive in this era. Even though we call them the greats, a lot of their stuff probably wouldn't last, wouldn't be as long lasting because of the fact that people are always like taking your public image and personal details and putting it out there.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And then he has what's the other song that I'm thinking of?
Lord Knows also has like that fucking like choir beat that's fucking awesome.
And also one of my favorite Rick Ross verses.
Yeah, it's one of the few times Rick Ross actually impressed me. I have to agree with that.
It's insane.
That's another song I had not heard for forever before.
I'd say those are my favorite songs. Oh, The Ride is also one of my favorite outros of a Drake album. For me, it was like that ending where you have The Weeknd just crooning his ass off was fantastic.
Anytime The Weeknd's crooning his ass off is
he's like
A fucking plus. A fucking plus.
My man sounds like Lionel Richie at the end of that song, man. It was great. It was great.
He sounds like Abel Tesfaye. That's what he sounds like.
Oh, okay. All right. Look What You've Done is an also amazing ode to his grandma. I think it's fantastic. Yeah. It shows a lot more personal side of Drake than people are used to.
Look What You've Done is a very moving
song. I love when Drake makes songs about his family. I think personally, that's what gives him like some dimension.
For sure.
Which he would follow up in further efforts on other albums. I'll tell you, what's some of your favorite songs?
Well, mine. So my favorite. I gotta start off with headlines, just because I think of his singles, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
I just think it's a rousing, fucking amazing pop wrestler. I mean, that fucking hook is beautiful.
Yeah.
The fucking beat's triumphant. It shows off because Drake. I feel like Drake as a rapper is very underrated, and I think the bars are tight on that song. It's just a fucking perfect pop rap song.
It's an amazing victory lap of a record. I think.
Exactly. And Headlines obviously is one of the first songs on the album. I think it's the third, fourth song.
And you know what's weird is at first I didn't like it. I was like, what is this? Because you got to remember, before this album came out, that was the only song where you could really judge on what the album was going to sound like, and the album sounds nothing like that song. Nothing at all.
No, but I mean, there are a handful of songs like you said, Underground Kings. Like there are songs that are just like more like in your face rap songs.
Right, but I think Underground Kings is more like, because that song's more of like a snapshot into his past. This one is like, this Headlines, I think for me is like what Drake sees his future looking like. It's him trying to predict.
Well, the real is on the rise.
Exactly, the real is on the rise. Yeah, that's what he even says in the song. So that's why I think that song is pretty much a standout.
Well, yeah, no, and I think that song is also interesting just in terms of like the cultural impact, because that's when he's like the motherfucker I catch a body like that. That's like because people like really like hate Drake when he tries to be hard.
That was the beginning of like tough guy Drake.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And it's one of the few times where it didn't make me like cringe or laugh.
I cringed pretty hard when I first heard that because I was like, really?
No, I did not. Again, 19-year-old me was like, LOL, but yeah, older me was all about it. And Take Care again, and just what a fucking song.
Right. Just, you feel like that's a song where like you feel like those two have been married for 30 years.
Exactly.
It's insane.
Exactly. It's and Crew Love.
Crew Love's pretty
obviously.
Good, yeah.
I mean, big fucking Weeknd fan. I had heard The Weeknd by the time I'd heard the song, but just a great fucking song.
I know who The Weeknd was. So,
and then I think one of the more the real Her is fucking incredible.
That's the thing is I don't really care for that song. It's a bit of a sleeper.
I love it. I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard it until recently again, and it's just such a great fucking piano ballad. Just shows off the very sensitive side of Drake. Amazing Andre 3000 verse at the end of the song. I mean, anytime Andre 3000 shows up, I think maybe it's because like Outkast has been gone for so long. I just get delighted every time Andre 3000 shows up for anything.
It was the first time in a while where Andre had done like a mainstream guest verse, but since the Deuces remix, I think.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, have there been times since where I've been more delighted by him? Yes.
Yeah.
Namely
Definitely.
The Ends by Travis Scott and solo reprise on Frank Ocean's album.
Yeah.
Blonde? I don't know.
Yeah, Blonde,
I love that I just said Frank Ocean's album. It's fucking Blonde, you moron.
It's okay. You don't gotta cry
Caught myself. So yeah, there's that. And then like probably so then like
can we talk about like all right? I want to talk about like what a song that's very polarizing on this album.
Okay.
It's a song that a lot of people you either love it or you can't stand it at all. Can you guess which one I'm talking about? It was a huge hit.
Marvin's Room?
Thank you. I have no idea to this day whether or not that's a genius song or if it's one of his worst. I don't know.
See, I think Marvin's Room, because I was gonna ask what you think the worst songs are. I think Marvin's Room is one of the worst songs on the album.
Okay.
I think it's super fucking dull. I think it's not even 6 minutes long. It feels like it's 20.
Exactly.
It goes on forever. But
I will tell you this: the thing about Marvin's Room is that when I first heard it, I was like, I was like, is this the entire album? Like, when is the next song going to come on? Like, what is going on?
It's early.
It's pretty early.
I think is it after headlines? I think it's after. I think it's like right after headlines.
It's incredibly.
It's the biggest come down.
It's such a weird No, actually, no. Is it? No, it's like 3 songs after headlines, but it comes after that incredible song that is "Take Care" with Rihanna.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it comes right before "Buried Alive," so it's like this incredible introduction to Kendrick Lamar and this incredible like duet. So I'm just like, what is going on here? Where Drake is just moaning and pissing at the bar about this ex-girlfriend that he used to have. But then I was listening to it yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I think I take Drake's side on this because think about it for a second, right? If you really want to like try and find some sort of narrative in this album, Take Care is like him and Rihanna when they first meet, and Marvin's Room is like right after they broke up and Rihanna's like moved on to Meek Mill, right? So like, if you're Drake and Rihanna just left you, that's probably what you're gonna sound like. You're gonna be pretty heartbroken, right? Like, imagine you're with the girl for like 10 years and she's on with another guy. You're gonna feel some type of way, right? Yeah. So I don't know what headspace he was in when he wrote this, but part of me feels like this was earned. I don't know. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, I think that's an understandable argument. I mean, I just think the song. I mean, like, I don't really. The song is just so fucking.
Sonically, I don't really mess with it.
No, that's the thing.
I'm talking more in terms of like the lyrics and the content.
I'll give you that. That's a fair point with the lyrics. I can't disagree with anything you just said.
Because people.
However, the song is just so
it's a bit of an earworm.
Fucking meandering.
Yeah.
And just like I don't even care what he's saying, dude. Like the progression of the song is so fucking glacial, and just nothing happens.
It's incredibly cold and
and that's why I don't like it.
It's very distant and it's like gloomy, and I'm like, this was really.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't
I just don't think it works
as well. You know, like he's definitely done this concept a lot better on other albums.
Which I think he literally does. I think he literally does it better later in the album.
Oh, what song?
Like Doing It Wrong, I think is a better version of what he tried to do with the song.
I'm not a fan of that song really either.
Doing It Wrong sounds the most, even though
I like the Stevie Wonder.
The Weeknd had nothing to do with it. Yeah. It sounds the most like House of Balloons era Weeknd on the entire album.
Okay.
Which is weird.
That is really weird because
it would have been one of the lower. It would have been like the worst song on House of Balloons, but
I didn't really care for that project either.
Stylistically,
sorry.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing. Of all the fucking times, of all the takes we've thrown out here, like, and that's the thing. And you call me all the time like, oh god damn it, Chris, like that's such a crazy take, and then like. You were not taken. You were like blown away that I was taken aback by you saying House of Blues is the worst weekend. No,
it's the worst Weeknd one.
That legit caught me. I mean, no, but you realize.
Oh, then Kissland, yeah.
No, that's the thing. You realize you were blown away by the whole room because we had
our friends are on that episode. Yeah.
And everyone in the room was like, "What the fuck?"
I just don't like House of Balloons. Sorry, I don't like House of Balloons.
No, that's all well and good. I was just blown away by the take. I had not heard it before.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if we really have much time to delve into this album. Do we want to give it a grade? Do we grade this one?
So basically, you think The Motto's the worst song as well?
I think The Motto's probably my least favorite
Even though it's
song.
A bonus track, I feel like it's the worst song on the album.
You got to count it. I mean, it's the biggest.
You have to.
It's definitely the biggest record.
Actually, I'm not sure if it came out before Headlines. I think it might have been like the Recipe.
It was the second single.
It might have been like the Recipe on Good Kid, Mad City, where it was
no,
like...
it came out after Headlines. It was the second single. It was the second single. Okay. I remember that. So yeah, that's my least favorite song. My favorite song would probably have to be Take Care. I mean
that's a good choice.
Yeah.
If you were to ask me like what my number one song on the album would be, it would be Crew Love.
Right.
It would be Crew Love just because I'm such a hooker for the weekend.
I don't know what to give this album though, man. It's so weird because like you have some really upsetting sections of this song, which is like mostly the second half of all these like awful like ballads, like Cameras, Doing It Wrong, The Real Her.
I fucking like Cameras.
I don't like any of those songs. But in the beginning, it's like you have banger after banger. So I'm just gonna give him a B plus. I don't know. I'm gonna
give it a B plus. I think it's one of his best albums. I don't think it's his best. I still like More Life more. I think More Life's a more varied project. But I think this is just an excellent introduction to Drake, and an excellent introduction to Drake, and you can see why he became such a phenomenon, why he became such a distinct artist, and why he made such a fucking...
Would you call this album a classic?
Yeah.
Would you?
It's not one of my absolute all-time... Obviously, I gave it a B+, so clearly it's not one of my personal all-time favorites, but in terms of what the impact that it made on the genre, absolutely.
All right, well, we want to know what you guys think. Is Take Care a classic? Let us know. This is a question we're putting out to everybody. Personally... Sure, why not? I'll give it to him. It's not a masterpiece, but I'd call
No,
it
I don't think it's a
classic.
masterpiece. No, like personally, I don't think it's a masterpiece. But I mean, just I think any time like an album just makes an absolute like undeniable impact on the genre, you kind of have to label it.
Yeah, you got to give it to him. But yeah, that's the end of our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We'll be back for our last show of the year in a couple weeks.
We'll be back to celebrate our favorite topic, us.
Exactly. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.